Well, good morning, Year 3. This is your first English lesson of Term 4. Let's check you've got what you need for today. So you need a sharp pencil, a ruler, and your English book. And today we're going to be organising our page, a bit like what we've done before, where we've had an inspiration station at the top, and then the other half of our page to do our sentence writing. So I thought I'd let you know that now. If we start jotting down your date and LO, you need a fresh page today. Okay, just pause the video and check you've got that ready. And now you may jot down the date and LO and underline it with a ruler, please. Well done. So today we're going to start something new. And our writing this week is going to be all focused around this picture that you can see on the screen here. We're going to be writing a story by the end of the week. So we're going to be writing fiction writing. And it's going to be an adventure story we're going to be writing this week. And every lesson we have in the build up to the write will help us to gather words and understanding. It's an opportunity for us to use our imagination for what's going to happen in this story. Like I said, we haven't got an animation this time, we've just got a picture. So you're going to need to be really creative and imaginative. And you can do lots of making up in this story as well. So I thought we'd first have a look at it. So here's our picture. Pause the video and have a think about what you can see. Okay. So hopefully you thought about how we could see a background. We're not sure where this is exactly, but there's mountains. That maybe looks like a river to me. We've got trees, maybe a forest or a rainforest. We've got a parrot in the picture, so maybe it is a rainforest. And did you notice this basket? Did you know what it was? It's a hot air balloon. And we've got a character in this hot air balloon who looks to be a young girl, doesn't it? I don't know if also you noticed another hot air balloon in the sky behind her. Okay, I'd like you, as your first mini task, in your inspiration station would be fine, to jot down 2 questions that you'd like to find out about this picture. Okay, what do you want to know about what's going on in this picture? 2 questions, and make sure that you finish your questions with a question mark. Pause the video and do that now. Well done. Right, let's have a look at this picture again then. So, meet Emily. The girl is called Emily, a determined and ambitious 10-year-old girl who loves adventures. She's travelling through a new land that she's never discovered before. Now, as we've just explained, this week you will write a story about Emily's adventure in her hot air balloon. And today we're going to be focusing on the setting, okay? So we're going to be looking at the background of where she is. Do we think that this setting is going to be quite a negative intent description or more of a positive intent description? If you were seeing that setting, would it feel quite positive to you or would it feel quite ominous, quite negative? I hope that, like me, you're thinking it's going to be quite a positive setting, because if we have a look at it, it looks very beautiful, doesn't it? The sky looks quite beautiful. In fact, if we look at the clouds here, they almost tell me that something maybe ominous or negative might happen in this story, but actually the setting as a whole is very beautiful. And if we look below, look like here, it's really, it looks a very pretty place to be in. So I hope, like me, your settings are going to be positive today. Right, today we're going to be writing 3 word lists. Okay, we're going to be writing list to describe the clouds, list to describe the mountains, and a list to describe the river. Now, what I'd like you to do is find a really sensible place in your inspiration station, copy down these 3 list titles so that you've got a little bit of space to write some words underneath each one. Pause the video and do that now. Okay, I suggest that you actually underline them with a ruler so that you know that those are like little mini subtitles and not get mixed in with all the other words. So, to describe something, we need to be making a list of adjectives, don't we? We know that. So I'd like you to write down underneath each thing we're describing between 3 and 6 adjectives for each one. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flick it back to this picture so you've got it there. I'd like you to spend a moment thinking about ideas that you already have. Perhaps you already know an adjective to describe the clouds. Perhaps you already know an adjective you could use to describe the mountains. So I'd like you to pause the video and do that. I will give you some more ideas in a moment. So if you haven't got 3 in your mind for each one, don't worry, I'm going to give you some more ideas. Pause the video and have a little go. Okay, well done. Let's give you some ideas now then, okay? You might decide that you want to improve one of the adjectives you've written down in your book, and that would be fine too, or maybe you're just adding to them. Make sure that you have got between 3 and 6 adjectives for each word list, okay? So I thought I was looking at the colours actually in this setting because often we can describe things with a colour. And I thought, oh, those clouds, well, they look sort of a purpley pink colour, don't they? Almost like a indigo sort of colour. And then if we look along the bottom, we've got more of an orangey colour. I wonder if, have a look at the next few slides and see if there's any words that you might like to use. You'll need to pause the video if you want to have a little look at this, okay? Here we go. You might want the purple in this one. Okay, here are some better words for big. Perhaps there might be a couple here you want to use for your mountains. Think very carefully though. We want to pick out some positive adjectives, don't we? Not negative. And then here's a few that might help you with describing the river. Again, make sure you pick out positive adjectives. Okay, well done. So now you should have your 3 word lists in your book, and you should have between 3 and 6 adjectives underneath each thing we were describing. The next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to extend our list for the river, so it goes on a little bit further, and we're going to do that by adding some verbs. We're going to describe how the river's moving. Who can remind me what are verbs? Have a little think. Well, verbs describe the way something moves. So we're going to have a think about how the river's moving. Now, if we have a look back at that picture again, we're going to imagine that this is a lovely river. Is it a gushing river? Is it fast flowing, or does it look very gentle to you? I would agree. I think it looks very gentle, doesn't it? So I've got some words here again that you can have a look at and read yourself. I'd like you to choose 2 or 3 would be fine. 2 or 3 verbs here that describe that river. Think about what it looked like and how that river moved. Pause the video and do that now. Well done, everyone. Okay, so we've got lots of words, haven't we, so far? Finally, today we're going to practice using some of these words in sentences. And we're going to then describe this setting. So make sure that you use the words that you've just collected because they're going to be really helpful. I'm going to show you one that I've done. Okay, so this is just an example and it's something that we're aiming for. So have a listen and see if you can follow with your eyes my reading. Soaring high between the clouds, Emily saw picturesque rivers flowing calmly below. The water was shallow, but Emily noticed the reflection of the peach-pink clouds hovering above. They were fluffy like the foam on a freshly made hot chocolate. Okay, let's do some highlighting now. So I've made sure that I've popped in some of those adjectives. I wonder if you can pause the video and spot where the adjectives are. Do that now. Okay, so let's have a look myself. Let's see if you spotted them all. Soaring high between the clouds. But I could actually call high an adjective. Soaring high between the clouds. Emily saw picturesque rivers flowing calmly below. The water was shallow, but Emily noticed the reflection of the peach-pink clouds hovering above. They were fluffy, like the foam on a freshly made hot chocolate. So I've highlighted the adjectives there in orange. Okay, let's now have a look at the verbs. Pause the video. Can you spot any verbs I've used? Remember, verbs are words to describe how something moves. Okay, here we go. Let's have a look for some verbs. Soaring high. Oh, that's what she's doing, isn't it? Soaring high between the clouds. Emily saw picturesque rivers flowing. Can you see how our verbs often have ing or ed on the end? Calmly below. The water was shallow, but Emily noticed the reflection of the peach-pink clouds hovering above. They were fluffy like the foam on a freshly made hot chocolate. I've just spotted another adjective I missed before. Perhaps you spotted that one. And the last one, can you have a look for the simile that I used? I had to go at using a simile. Pause the video, can you spot it? Yeah, here we go. They were fluffy like the foam on a freshly made hot chocolate. I had a really good think and I thought, what do I know that's really fluffy sometimes? And I was thinking of, I thought of candy floss. I thought, oh, should I write fluffy like candy floss? But I've heard that simile a lot of times. I thought I'd try and think of something quite different. And I thought, oh, freshly made hot chocolate's quite fluffy on top, isn't it? And it reminded me of that. So now it's your turn. You're going to have a go at using your vocabulary words in your inspiration station. And underneath on the second half of your page, you're going to have a go at writing a little setting description using some of those words. If you like a challenge, have a go at using one of your own similes and try and make it quite original. Okay, I'm going to pause there. I look forward to seeing these on Dojo. Well done, everyone.